Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Yamuna Tira Manachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada युगल धर्म हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। ग्रंथ राज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। We're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, The Creative Impetus, Chapter 2, The Activities of Maharaj Agnidra, Text 17. So I'll just read it. Shishako Vacha Iti lalana no nayati visharado gramya vaidhyaya paribhashaya tam vibodha vadhum vibodhamatir adhi sabhajayam asa. What word meaning? Shishako Vacha Shukadev Goswami said, Iti, thus, Lalana, woman, Anunaya, winning over, Ati Visharadaha, very expert, Gramya Vaidhak Dhyaya, expert in fulfilling one's material desires. Paribhashaya, by selected words. Tam, her. Vibodha Vadhum, the celestial girl. Vibodha Matihi, Agnidra, who possessed intelligence like that of the demigods. Adi Sabhajayam Asa, gained the favor of. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Shukadeva Goswami continued. Maharaj Agnidra, whose intelligence was like that of a demigod, knew the art of flattering women to win them to his side. He therefore pleased that celestial girl with his lusty words and gained her favor. Purport. Since King Agnidra was a devotee, he actually had no attraction for material enjoyment. But because he wanted a wife for progeny and Lord Brahma had sent Purvachitti for this purpose, he expertly pleased her with flattering words. Women are attracted by a man's flattering words. One who is expert in this art of flattery is called Vidagdha. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuronmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guraho Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratushe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kantam Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Ancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yat kripadam vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. So here we are discussing the activities of Agnitra with Purva Chitti. So we understand Agnidra's situation. He wants a wife and he has prayed to Brahma. Brahma has sent a very beautiful celestial damsel. And she is so beautiful that Agnidra is infatuated and he is going and flattering her in various ways, describing the various body parts and requesting her to be with Agnidra. So in different verses we saw different lines he is using. Oh great sage, sage son, and oh friend, oh dear friend, etc. etc. I was just searching what is the meaning of flattery. So the dictionary says flattery is the act of giving excessive compliments, generally for the purpose of ingratiating oneself with the subject. It is also used in pick-up lines when attempting to initiate sexual or romantic courtship. Historically, flattery has been used as a standard form of discourse when addressing a king or queen. So, there's flattery. So, excessive compliment, excessive glorification can be called as flattery. I was just thinking that this cannot be done with the Lord. What is excessive for him? For him, the qualities increase every moment. To such an extent that Lord also does not know about his own qualities. Lord does not know himself completely. This is what Shastras say. Because at this moment he tries to know himself, but the next moment he's increased. Now his qualities are increased. Anandam buddhi vardhanam pratipadam purnamrita swadanam. Pratipadam. So when it comes to bhakti, when it comes to Bhagavan, and even when it comes to bhakta, it's with every moment, there are newer and newer mellows which they relish. And when it comes to Lord personally, his qualities keeps increasing. His qualities keeps increasing. So it is said spiritual life is vast and infinite. We cannot understand how infinite the spiritual life is, how infinite the Lord himself is. That's why in spiritual life, no one can get bored if the person enters the realm of actual spirituality. If he enters the realm of actual spirituality, the person cannot get bored. At least when it comes to chanting good number of rounds, new people when they chant one round, they feel, oh, I've done a big task. And when they hear there are people chanting 64 rounds every day, there were people who are chanting 192 rounds, they cannot digest. How is it possible? Because we have not yet entered the realm of bhakti only. So when we enter the realm of bhakti, automatically we will start relishing the infinite aspect of devotional service. And coming back to Agnidra's situation and comparing that with ourselves. In this world we'll talk about sense gratification. So in this world most of the time goes in what? In sense gratification. Impressing people for our own sense gratification. We see this especially non-devotee association. Even in devotees also sometimes it is seen, but mostly people are not practicing bhakti who are still trying to impress others, live their life for that. So we understand that entire life goes in this, impressing others all the time. Impressing others. Maybe by speaking, by our action, or by various other things. So impressing others. And when we keep doing this, finally the person is lost. What am I doing? What's going on? And same people, when they ditch, when the same people, when they slap very nicely, again through words and actions, then the person realizes I've wasted a lot of time. I was just meditating on this song, Srila Prabhupada's favorite. So I'll not be able to sing, I'll just read it. Jiva jago, Gaura chanda bole. Kota nidra jao maya, picha chera kole. Sri Gauranga is calling out. He's calling out, wake up, sleeping souls, wake up. How long will you sleep on the lap of the witch Maya? Very strong words is used here. It's very nice. The same bhajan we keep singing and keep meditating on it. We'll see that how the same bhajan can reveal a lot of things, with time. Here, Gaura Chanda or Shri Gaur Hari, he's saying that wake up, sleeping souls, wake up. Why is he saying that? People are awake, all of us are awake. In fact, people are so awake, busy running around. And as soon as they get up, busy running around, this meeting, that meeting, this work, that deadline, this deadline. But here, he's talking about you're sleeping on the lap of the witch Maya. So get up. So what does that mean? Now it means that you're busy doing sense gratification. You're bahirmukh from Krishna. Busy doing sense gratification. End your sense gratification and come back to reality. This sense gratification, I was just thinking, why is he calling us witch? Witch Maya. So I was just searching what is the meaning of witch. So the ones who have some magical powers or whatever, or the ones who haunt, etc., whatever. So here we understand that Maya Shakti, she is very expert. She is very expert in pulling people away from devotional service. So I was just thinking that when a devotee starts practicing devotional service, especially as a full-time in the ashram, and then it's all nice and all bhakti is going on, devotional service we are doing. And then he gets a little desire. Let me open the window and see what's happening around. That small desire is enough, and little opening of window is enough. She catches the person, pulls him out of the window. On a serious note, a lot of desire, a small desire comes of sense gratification, and then Maya Shakti is very, very expert. That desires will expand and expand and expand. All the material desires will expand. Yes. And we see Krishna is also very expert. Small desire to do devotional service, a sincere desire, by the way. He also expands. But then we are so compatible, with sense gratification and not bhakti. So material desires are more. So this is a very important thing to note, that from so many lifetimes we have been doing sense gratification. So many lifetimes, we cannot count also. So now our second nature is sense gratification. That's what has happened. Second nature is sense gratification. Ideally, when it comes to Jivatma, the point is Jivere Swarupoi Krishnera Nityadas. So we are servants of Krishna. Ideally, we are supposed to do bhakti. That is what should be our nature, constitutional position. But then, because of innumerable or time immemorial, we have been doing sense gratification. So this has become the second nature. And as soon as one sense gratification thought enters, it expands and expands and expands. And we will see, we'll get newer and newer ideas also. At least I have observed it myself. One desire and then newer and newer ideas of sense gratification. How to do better sense gratification. So here Gauranga is saying, get up Baba, get up. What are you doing? Get up. Get up from this ignorance. Come out of this avidya. Avidya of doing sense gratification. And come to a wakeful state. Come to the platform of Krishna consciousness. And then he is saying, Bhajibo buliya aise samsara bhitare buliya rohile tumi avidyara bhare. So we all came here to do devotional service. That's what he's saying. Bhajibo buliya aise. What did you say? You said you'll do devotional service. This is what you said. Bhajibo buliya aise Samsara bhitare. That's how you came to this material world. This is what you promised in the womb of your mother, that you will do devotional service, and you entered this material world. And then he says, Bhulya rohile tumi. But then you forgot that you came here for devotional service. And avidyara bhare. Now you're lost. You're lost in this samsara. You're lost in the cycle of birth and death. You're lost in this world of ignorance. Now, this is a very, very important thing to note. We have promised the Lord to do bhakti. I will do your devotional service, O Lord. I will do your devotional service. This life is for you. These are the dialogues which we have told. We might not remember. Someone might say, no, I didn't say this. I didn't. No, what we have, Shastras say. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, we have said that. No, we have. Many times people say, I've got this responsibility, that responsibility, this promise, that, I've given promise to my friend, I have to go, how can I miss that? Maybe next time I'll come for the session. And I heard this from people. But one thing is very important to note, what about that promise that we gave it to Krishna? What about that promise? What about that responsibility of doing devotional service? We say that I'm supposed to take care of this person, that person, my family members, my friends, colleagues, relatives. But what about that responsibility that we have, the promise that we have made of doing devotional service? So this is a very, very important thing that we have to meditate on this point. So much importance we give for the responsibilities of this material world. And Prabhupada calls it as 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Shloka 16, 15. When he gives the definition of mudha, there he says, self-created responsibilities. It is not something shastric, it is self-created responsibilities, Prabhupada says. And these self-created responsibilities are given so much of importance that we forget our responsibility towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even when a brahmachari joins ashram, so this question is always there. What about the responsibility? Who will take care of your parents? Who will do this? Who will do that? What about these responsibilities? About which responsibility are you talking about? First, understand about our eternal responsibility of serving Krishna. That responsibility is very, very important, and we have to be responsible, for this particular service or this particular role that we have got of being the servant of Krishna. That is our first identity. We are servant of Krishna. And later on, whatever we get in this world is all illusion. Prabhupada was saying that if you just come out of the designation come out from the false designations of this world, you're already liberated. If someone can come out, the false designation, I'm this, I'm that, or whatever. I'm a father, I'm mother, I'm sister, brother, I'm an Indian, American, whatever. We come out of these false designations, and Prabhupada was saying the person is already liberated. In this world we see, we have come here to do devotional service. That's the fact. And that is what is permanent. We have come here to do devotional service. But it's very natural that apart from devotional service, we do everything else. So I was just thinking that people say, time nahi hai. What? Time pass hi to kar rahe. We're doing time pass only. No, I'm talking about the material people who are engaged always in material business. So we are just doing time pass in this material world. Ideally, we have come here for what? For doing devotional service. So when you have come here for doing devotional service, that should be the exclusive thing, right? That should be the exclusive thing. But then, unfortunately, we are stuck and just passing the time. Or I should say, wasting the time very nicely. So unnecessarily, when we take up these different material things very seriously, we get engrossed in it so much that we forget the purpose of human form of life. Again and again this is given, purpose of human form of life. And that is to do bhakti and go back to Krishna. Assist Krishna in his eternal pastime. That is what is purpose of human form of life. Nothing else. But then somehow, adjusting the material situations here and there, a lot of time goes. A lot of time goes. And then Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, Tumhare loite ami hoino avatara, ami bina bandhu ara, ke ache tumhara. Tumhare loite ami hoino avatara. So Lord is appearing again and again for one purpose. Especially that seminar which I had given on incarnations of the Lord. When I was reading only, I was not understanding how many more incarnations are there. Forget about incarnation. How many more types of incarnations are there? So many types. So many types. Difficult to remember also. And in that we have infinite incarnations. Infinite incarnations. So one thing we have to understand, be it in spiritual world, the incarnations, or in the material world, the avatars, is only for one reason, only for the living entities, so that the living entities can serve the Lord. In the material world, when the Lord comes, his only goal is somehow or the other have to attract all the living entities back home, back to Godhead. The only thing. That's the only thing that the Lord wants to do. I want to attract all the living entities back home, back to Godhead. And that's why Lord does all his amazing pastimes, all his amazing mesmerizing pastimes. But then, when the eyes are lusted and they're colored with these material colors, so we're not able to relish the mesmerizing pastimes of the Lord, which are actually very, very mesmerizing. We are not able to understand the mesmerizing aspect of that. And then we start comparing and pulling down the Lord to the material platform and analyzing. Nowadays, many times when people ask questions about the Lord, so it's very clear that they want to analyze the Lord at their level and their platform, the material platform. So never ever such people will be able to understand. And Prabhupada is making the statement again and again and again. Avajananti ma mudha. Never these mudas will be able to understand. Never. So in this way, we understand that Lord comes to this material world just to reclaim the fallen souls back home, back to Godhead. That's the only reason he comes. Only reason he comes. If we just analyze how the endeavor of the Lord for us to take us back home, back to Godhead, it's really very touching. Very, very touching. This is one of my personal meditation which helps me a lot. So whenever we think about some person who is helping us and we're really indebted, so if we extrapolate that, we actually reach the Lord. And then we start analyzing how much the Lord is doing for us. How many times he incarnates. How wonderfully he resides in the heart of a living entity as Paramatma. How he arranges different opportunities for a living entity to do devotional service. So when we analyze all this, we understand how much he's doing for the living entity. Basically for all of us. For all of us. Every single day, the Lord is giving us opportunity to get closer to him. Every single day. So it's very, very difficult to comprehend. In the material world, in Kali Yuga, in this dark age, there are few people who are there who are practicing devotional service. And we belong to that category. And who has given us that opportunity? Lord has given us that opportunity. Every single day he does that. Every single day. We see today morning one boy had come and he was telling me that please pray for me and my mother. I said, what happened? He's like, there's a lot of pain in my body also and her body also. From a long time, we are deceased. We're not able to do anything. I'm not able to come, to this place to attend Mangalarti and things like that. Please pray for me. And I was just getting ready to come for chanting. So I was just thinking that there are people who wants to do devotional service, but then it's not happening due to whatever reasons. And how fortunate we are. How fortunate we are. So Lord is doing these various activities or various opportunities He is giving us just so that we can practice devotional service intensely. Every single day. Every single day. And then here the Lord is making a point. Ami bina bandhuar kya chhe tumar. In this world, who is yours? This is the nice question that Bhaktivinoda Thakur or the Lord is asking. Who is yours in this world? I am the only bandhu. I am your only friend. Who else is yours? You say that this is my father, this is my mother, this is my sibling, my brother, my sister, my friend, and this and that. But actually, who is yours? Everyone is traveler. Everyone is just traveling. And just at one point we have met. If I'm not wrong, I think Prahlad Maharaj is giving this analogy, or Hiranyakashipu when he's preaching to his mother and his sister-in-law. So at that time he says that in this world everyone is a traveler. It's almost like previously they would have these different drinking water spots. So they'll all sit, because everyone would walk at that time. So they all sit, different travelers, they'll sit, drink water and have nice time together. And again depart. They'll go to their respective destinations, or they'll start walking towards the respective destination. So actually speaking, in this world, then who is ours? Everyone is just a traveler. Just for time being, we have come together. All the different relationships that we have. So just for time being, we have come together. And with time we'll depart. We'll depart. So just saying that, oh, I love this personality so much, that personality so much, and this and that, it's just illusion and nothing else. It's illusion and nothing else. So this is a very, very important point, which is made in this particular bhajan, that Ami bina bandhuar kya che tumar. Apart from me, who is your friend in this world? Who is your real friend in this world? So actually speaking, our real family members are only Krishna and Guru and Krishna, and no one else. No one else. It's Guru and Krishna. But this is a very heavy realization to get. It's possible by Lord's mercy. Obviously, theoretically, we can understand, but this is the fact, this is the truth, that is there. Everyone in this world knows that people are going to leave us or whatever. But still, the illusory potency of the Lord, she keeps everyone in illusion. And she makes sure that everyone is attached to each other. Strongly. Not just attached, strongly attached. Strongly attached. To such an extent that even at the time of death, the person wants to see his relatives and friends or whatever. So attached, so attached. So this thing that is, only Lord is our friend, we see in various other bhajans also. But then this particular thing can be realized by the mercy of Guru and Krishna. And also when we are eager to realize this particular thing, when we have desire to realize this particular thing, we'll be able to realize. Right? Again, in another bhajan, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying that, what is that? Ekhana bharosa tumi. I've done a lot of endeavors, and now I realize all that is fake, all that is just going, it's all failing. The only thing I understand is you are my only hope. This is a very big conclusion I want to come to. You are my only hope, O Lord. And this, you are my only friend, is a very, very important realization. And in one of the purports, Srila Prabhupada writes, when he's describing the renunciants' qualities, there he writes, the renunciants realize that the Lord is always with them. And that's how they wander around preaching the message of Krishna consciousness. They are not fearful. So in that quality of Abhay, so Prabhupada was mentioning this particular thing, fearless. Swami bina bandhuar kya che tumar. Who is there? Who is your friend apart from me in this world? And then he is saying, Enechi aushadi maya nashi baro lagi, Hari nama maha mantra lao tumi magi. Here another very nice thing is mentioned, that Enechi aushadi maya nashi baro lagi. So I brought the medicine which will wipe out the disease of illusion. So why the sense gratification is done in this material world? Because everyone is an illusion. So sense gratification is done. But then here it's a very nice point that he has made, that but I have got a medicine. I have got a medicine which will wipe out this illusion. And what is that medicine? The Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So this is that medicine which will wipe out the illusion. And this illusion, so here is writing, disease of illusion from which you are suffering. So because of this illusion we are suffering. Because of avidya we are suffering. So here he is saying, I've got the medicine of this Maha Mantra. But then he has a point here to make. Lao tumi magi. I've got it, but then you have to ask for it. This is a very big thing. Very important thing for sadhakas. You have to beg for it. You have to ask for it, he is saying. Commodity is there. He's just holding it. He's displaying. He's doing advertisement also. This is the medicine for this age of Kali. This is the medicine which will wipe out all the illusion. This is the medicine which will come out, by which you'll come out of the suffering. You'll be happy. You'll go back home, back to God. This is that medicine. And then we're just standing. Maybe he'll distribute now to everyone. And he's saying, come and ask. Come and ask. I'm not going to give you just like that. I'm not going to distribute this. Come and ask. Come and beg. Right? So, this is what we have been hearing from Harikshitra Prabhu. We have been trying to practice. I'm sure all of us are trying to do this every single day. Begging the Lord to help us to chant the holy names. Begging the Lord to help us to chant the holy names. Unless and until we don't become nice beggars, here it's very clear. Lord is not going to give us the holy name. He's not even going to give us the realizations when it comes to the holy name. Nam and Nami, they are non-different. This realization, Lord and His holy name are non-different. How will these different realizations come? Only when the Lord gives us the holy name. Only when the Lord gives us this realization. So He's saying, making it very clear, Lao tumi magi. So you have to ask. You have to beg. And finally, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, Bhakati Vinoda Prabhu Charane Poriya Sei Hari Nama Mantra Loilo Magiya. So when he understood that Lord has come with this commodity, Bhaktivinoda Thakur knows what has to be done because the Acharya knows what should be done. They are the ones who are very clear about what should be done to attract the mercy of the Lord and how to become intense in devotional service. And here, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, as the Acharya, he knows what is supposed to be done. And he is saying that I asked for it, I have got it, I am falling at the lotus feet of the Lord. So how to ask, what to do, all that these Acharyas tell us. That's what Srila Prabhupada has done in our life. Prabhupada has given us this entire morning program. Prabhupada has given us the entire procedure that has to be followed, the entire process to be followed. And these acharyas know very well that this particular thing will attract the mercy of the Lord. If this living entity does this particular thing, it will attract the mercy of the Lord. And they have given us, do this. And they have told us the mood also how to do it. So just following the words of the acharyas very nicely, the person can attain the lotus feet of Krishna. Or else, trying by one's own self, that's very difficult. Very difficult. So, after a lot of after many lifetimes of doing sense gratification, finally we all are here to practice devotional service. Finally, it's a big thing. When we go out for preaching, before and all these bhajans and all were not making much significance in my life at least. But now after preaching a bit here and there, now we understand, it makes a lot of sense. Literally, Maya Shakti is holding people and everyone is busy doing sense gratification. And out of that, only few souls get the mercy of Lord Krishna. And they come and start practicing devotional service. Out of that, few souls are the ones who actually receive the mercy, express the gratitude, and continue practicing devotional service. And they are the ones who remain. And even after coming to Bhakti, many people leave because they are not able to sustain in devotional service. So, as devotees, as sadhakas, we have come to devotional service, understanding our fortune. Out of many millions and billions of living entities, we have got this opportunity to practice bhakti. But little bit of sense gratificatory thoughts or whatever, sense gratificatory thoughts passing our mind, that's a different thing. But then holding it and meditating on it, that's very dangerous. And then it will keep expanding. And we'll never be able to fulfill the promise that we have given to Krishna to serve Him. This life is meant only for Krishna's service, nothing else. This life is not meant for anything else. It's just meant for Krishna's service. We have come to this material world to serve Krishna. If this particular thing, we miss, then again this life is wasted. Again, punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Again, the cycle begins. The cycle is already going on. We resume the cycle. That's it. We resume the cycle. And again, I would like to highlight this point. Ami bina bandhuar kya che tumar. Apart from the Lord, there is no one in this world who is actually our real friend. Because the real friend will actually take us to the right destination. Not entangle us in this material world more and more. It's only Guru and Krishna who are actually taking us in the right direction. And it's our duty just to follow their instructions. And when we follow their instructions, understanding that they are bandhu, we'll become intense in devotional service and get rid of the cycle of birth and death. And obviously engage in their eternal service. So with this, I would like to pause here. I would request all of you to share. It's a very nice bhajan. If you have some points to share, please.
It's a very nice argument that when people say that we have promised to so many people and will not be able to come to program, something like that. So what happens to that promise that we have given to the Lord? So that's a very nice argument actually. And then also this aspect of like how the Lord is our only friend, so which Krishna also mentions in Bhagavad Gita, Suhridam Sarvabhutanam. So it's a very nourishing point, very um, like it gives us a lot of hope, that Lord is there and that. So and then also this medicine, that is the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and Lord is telling that you should beg for it and you should take it. So like, and He's ready to give. So these are nice points, Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So you started the class with the point that one cannot get bored in spiritual life. So if I am getting bored in spiritual life, that means I have not entered the realm of spirituality. So that is a very nice reminder for me. I often get bored here and there. So I have to become serious and sincere in Krishna consciousness. Uh, that is possible in order to do that, I have to remember the two finger short of success theory. I have to be sincerely trying, and I also have to be praying to the Lord, hoping against hope to get His mercy. You also mentioned that Lord is giving us the opportunity to get closer to Him every single day. So this is a seed of gratitude which I should cultivate. Every day is an opportunity to do something which I have not done yesterday, and this shows the patience of the Lord. And if I can take it more seriously, then I'll become more grateful to the Lord actually. I need to take that opportunity. And lastly, you mentioned this Hare Krishna Mahamantra will wipe out the illusion of Kali Yuga. We need to beg to the Lord and help us so that He can help us to chant. In the bhajan also Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentions that we have to beg and take. So the Lord can easily give us all kinds of facilities and all kinds of wealth. Why is He asking us to beg? Because He wants us to realize the importance of this Mahamantra. Um, my spiritual master also does it. When he is giving initiation, he asks people to beg first. Then only he releases the beads. So this is a very nice way to help people realize what they are doing. And a sincere soul, when the pulp has been beaten out of him through Maya, when he gets a little bit relief by chanting Hare Krishna and goes and begs for it to the spiritual master and begs for it to the Lord to chant very sincerely, then he realizes what a great wealth he is and that he is not supposed to lose it. I forget this. Every day before chanting, I do not beg. Some days I beg, some days I don't beg. Today my japa was very bad because I didn't beg. So I have to remember to beg every day. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for a nice class, Prabhu. So my points goes here. So yeah, Maya is even small sense gratification. It'll pull you out fully. And similarly, Krishna also very expert. Even small desire for devotional service, he will pull you back. That's one good point I like to. And there are self-created responsibilities people. So that is a very nice point. People have always talk about I have so much responsibilities, like okay, and then illusion can be wiped out by Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We have to beg for it. Yes. So yeah, that is very important point. We have to beg. uh, Otherwise don't come. We look like it's available and we are doing, but we are not begging, then it is it is not okay. And one more thing is the acharyas knows which service attract mercy of the Lord. So our Prabhupada has given this sequence of services, sequence of program. So if you follow, I think we can Lord attracts. We can be attracted by Lord. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for the wonderful class. So that was a very nice bhajan where acharyas has written it, and they have showed us like how can we come out of this material illusion and take the shelter of the Lord, and they show like from this bhajan uh, they clearly mention that how Lord is very eager to take us back, and only one thing what we have to do is like we have to just beg and sincerely ask for the help from the Guru and Krishna, and uh, uh, we can be taken out from this illusion of the Maya, from this material world. Until unless we don't beg and we don't sincerely pray, then we don't get it. So we should beg, and even Lord is also just waiting for that. So when this person will come to me and beg, so that I can ready to give it. So he had everything with him. So you just have to beg and ask from the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for the lecture. A couple of points that I noted down. You spoke about how there are unlimited opportunity for service on the spiritual platform, and when one feels bored, he must realize that he still hasn't reached that platform. So one must endeavor to reach that platform or that realm of spirituality where he's got this opportunity to perform unlimited number of services. You spoke about how strong Maya is. One small opportunity, one small gap in our life, and Maya is ready there to pull us into the into mode of ignorance. And spoke about how Krishna is our only friend. He's our dear friend, and he's also there waiting for an opportunity. Any small opportunity of devotional service we take, and he is there to ready to lift us back up. And so the purpose of the human life is to do bhakti and go back to Krishna. And Krishna has Mahaprabhu has come here with this commodity of the Mahamantra, and he has given it to us. All we have to do is reach out to it. All we have to do is just beg for it. And when we beg sincerely, the Lord is ready to give it to us. Thank you so much, Guruji. Thanks.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you very much for the intense class, Prabhuji. So I was just thinking we were missing Tuesday counseling meeting, so we got it now. So this is a point which you mentioned that every single day we're getting a opportunity to get closer to Krishna. So initially it was very not much importance for this. So with the years passing by, so you can see not everyone who is coming to the temple, not everyone becomes a devotee. Even becomes not everyone at least to become full-time devotee, it's very, very rare. Not everyone can stay in the ashram, getting this opportunity to serve the full-time. It's very, very rare. So just like how not everyone can purchase a diamond, so it's a more than valuable virtue bhakti we got, devotee association. It's a very, very rare opportunity. So should have this gratitude towards the Lord and the spiritual master and all the devotees who are helping in our life to progress. So this is the most important meditating point for me from this class, and also got this, but also simultaneously the illusion Maya Shakti is very, very powerful. So the only medicine is Maha Mantra, which we got it, and also as you mentioned, we cannot get it directly. We have to beg and pray to the Lord to get it. So these are the few points which I liked and meditate upon. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for such an intense class. And so, like this point that we actually create, there are self-created responsibilities. So actually, it was piercing my heart because I'm into that situation right now. So like, and I was contemplating that how the words of a sadhu are like a knife. They cut, really pierce hard into it, and the weakest point which we have in life, that gets touched. So yeah, this is a very good, always a very important point. But what to do? That realization, has to come. And this point that Kodijay was mentioning, that we have to beg to the Lord that to give that realization, and obviously for in terms of chanting also, that to hear the holy name of the Lord clearly. Today Aisha Prabhuji was also telling the same point, that we have to pray to the Lord and pray to all the acharyas, that only through Guru Parampara we can get the mercy, and we can actually get the darshans by the mercy of the Guru Parampara. We can't directly access the Lord. So yeah, we have to beg and pray to the Lord that to give us a realization, and then we can move ahead in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. As usual, your class are always nourishing. So the main important point is like when we are in the womb of our mother, like how each and everyone prays to the Lord. I want to do devotional service. As soon as he comes out of the womb and everything, because of the influence of Maya Shakti, one gets bewildered. Will be getting entangled one after another. As all devotees are mentioning, that point was so reflecting that how Maya, like how Bhakti Vinod Thakur mentions Maya as witch, and how illusory her potency is, how she bewilders, and then like opening a small window, how she catches and takes away the person from devotional service. And similarly, how Krishna also does so many things, trying to push his devotees to the devotional service. One sense, I can tell, like I am not supposed to hear Bhagavatam now. I had literally said, right, this fellow pulled me now to come to the class. So this how devotees and Maya both are trying at their equal level to pull to their side. Yes, Ravi, so nourishing. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण गुरु जी उन्हें बताया कि होली नेम में कितना आनंद रहता है, हमेशा वो इंक्रीज रहता है। हम जितना भी हम उसको सुने और भी सुनने के लिए मन करता है। तो और भगवान भी ऐसा है, हमेशा आनंद बुद्धि रहते हैं और उनको मेजर नहीं कर पाते हैं। वो मेजर करते हैं तो फिर बढ़ता है आनंद। और बताया कि अगर कोई हम आचार्य को फॉलो करेंगे तो भगवान ऑटोमेटिकली मिल जाएंगे। और होली नेम होली नेम में इतना पावर है कि हमारा जितना भी मेटेरियल डिजायर वो कट कर सकते हैं, बट हमको उसके लिए जाके आचार्य के पास मांगना है और हमको होली नेम चाहिए बोल के। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. Thank you for nice class. Can mention like one point, like a person cannot be bold if he is actual devotee. So the second point is like how to overcome the self responsibilities created by us. Yeah, that is whatever Pranjay Prabhu is telling. Yeah, always we are like some things we are desiring and creating our responsibility and try to solve. Again, we are going to seniors. Please solve it. That's kind of. Then God attracting to all living entities to back to Godhead. And the third point is like everyone told, like Mahamantra is the medicines for illusions. So here one more questions for me to like if the same times the illusion is like high, the strong is the Maya. And the same times also God is requesting to pulling the living entities to back to Godhead. These two things how to understand. Even if also we know that one God is trying to filtering. That filtering how to understand? Can you please explain it?
Maya is strong, Lord is trying to help us. So
Attracting to like back to Godhead. Those sides say. Also we know that one God is doing this kind of things because of the filtering also. Like God don't want to take the material peoples. That's why the people is making the peoples to be illusions.
So firstly, Lord is not filtering. Let's understand this concept clearly. Lord is not filtering. Lord is eager to take everyone back home. Say, even for devotees, if the Lord comes now, chalo, let's go. And then Prabhuji 27th को festival organize इतना मेहनत किया पर आगे वो खत्म करके आए। Yes. Or when it comes to others, say Grasta devotees, my kids' exams are going on, I'll finish that and come. So So Lord is not filtering, Lord is ready, but then we are so attached. I cannot forget this class of Harilila Prabhu in Mayapur, when we went to Mayapur. So Prabhuji did this activity. Even Alexis was there in that activity. So there was one Maya, Jivatma, and Krishna. So Jivatma is holding Maya, and he's saying, "Leave me, leave me, leave me." Arey, you are holding. You're supposed to get-" So that is always there. Whenever I think about Maya and Jivatma, that scene comes in front of me. So Lord is not filtering. It's actually we living entities. We are not eager to go back, come back to Godhead. And since we are not desiring, one thing Lord is doing is He's helping us by fulfilling our desire. So whatever desires are there, He's fulfilling that. So now when we don't have desire to go back, home back to Godhead, so He's not fulfilling that. And to go back, home back to Godhead, one should have an intense desire. Like, this was my recent meditation which I've been speaking in the classes. When it comes to material desires, we see how much we think about it all the time. I was just questioning myself about this. Like, for example, say a person wants to buy a car, or buy a house, or whatever. Now, all the time he'll be thinking about it. Which car, which color car, which brand car, from where to get the loan, when will this happen, when will that happen. All the time. He'll be meditating to such an extent, even the dream that will come. At least I have felt that, I have experienced that. Whatever material desires are there, desires are very, very intense. Very, very intense. But I don't see myself thinking about the holy name like that. When will I get taste for chanting? Only in the morning when I hold beads, I remember I have to chant. Holy name is there. I have to pray now because I have to chant. So we don't pray the entire day, or we don't think about it the entire day. So this one thing is very clear, that our material desires are very intense, spiritual desires are not. So since material desires are intense, Lord is fulfilling. Tathastu, go ahead. And then we are there in this material world enjoying, thinking that we are enjoying. Yes. Now when it comes to the pull of the Lord and Maya Shakti's pull, so I would say they both are very, very powerful. They both are, in fact, it will not be wrong to say they are equally powerful also. But the decision is based on the living entity. Which side to go? Which side to go? The small desire is needed to start, and then an intense desire is needed to choose. Right? So when we have intense desire, then we obviously go towards Krishna, because Krishna's, as it is said, Lord is Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu. He does not do any partiality. It's up to the devotee. When the devotee is like, I want you, at that time, yes, we're attracted more and more towards the Lord. And then Lord showers a special mercy on the devotee. But it comes to the living entity has to decide which side to go. Pull is there on both the sides, which side to go. And the living entity, most of the time, consciously decides, I want Maya. And then he goes towards Maya, enjoys very nicely. But with time, when the purification happens and nice beatings are there from Maya, still the person does not realize. But then by the mercy of a sadhu, by the mercy of the acharyas, then the living entity little bit realizes. And a very, very difficult point to digest, that after few lifetimes, finally he realizes, and then he goes back, come back to Godhead. So this is something which happens in that. This is what is my understanding. If I'm missed anything. No, he will not. He will not. That's why I don't know which verse that was. So a devotee is praying. And then Prabhupada writes also there in the purport that if the devotee wants, then the Lord will force. Something like that Prabhupada writes. Something, yeah, correct. So if we pray, then Lord will do something. But normally people don't. Because how much Lord will force and how he will force, we don't know. So it might be painful. So जैसे चल रहा है आराम से चलते रहने दीजिए. बनेंगे, after some lifetime we'll go back home, no problem. Thank you very much. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.